Now, back to Did She Say That with Sonnie Johnson.
Welcome back to Did She Say That, a Breitbart Podcast, Podcast 1. You know, my name is Sonnie. I can't even do that no more. Let me stop. Hey, JaVonni, what's up? How are you?
Hi, Sonnie. I am great.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome. Okay. What's up with you?
Well, you know, I almost didn't make it. I told you about that gas leak that I was told about this morning, where I got the knock on the door and I was like, okay, you done interrupting my morning?
And that's what I said. The person that woke you up and got you out the house, they were sent from God, because the world is a better place now that JaVonni didn't blow up. So we're gonna give that person a shout out. Or did she say that shout out?
Yes, I've got to tell her. She's got to hear it.
All right. So what's up? What we got this week?
Sonnie, I remember you said the other day that people were calling you left and right saying that President Obama was crazy. Well, I think they might have been onto something. Black pastors from across the country have been outraged at this administration's desire to change the Civil Rights Act to include gender identity. The head of the Coalition of African American Pastors said that if Martin Luther King were alive today, he'd be angered as Jesus was when he started flipping over tables. Now, I missed the day when transgenders were being hosed down and drug out of public restrooms. Just because you don't have enough sense to look down between your legs to know what's going on down there, does it not mean this needs to be of public concern? Sonnie, help me out here. Is there any equation between transgender rights and civil rights? Correction, not transgender rights. I'll clarify and say the right to choose what restroom or shower or whatever that you want to go to. Is there a correlation between that and civil rights?
Let me start right here with the black pastors. I may seem unchild of godly for saying this in the fashion that I'm going to say it, but all of you can go to hell. All of you can go to hell. All of you have stood by and you have backed this administration. You have championed them. You have put on rallies in your church. You have done everything to put these people in positions of power. Now you're lining up to back Hillary Clinton, who is promising you 8 more years of Obama. I don't go to hell. I don't have any pity for you. Everything that you have done, you have brought on yourself. I don't care. You handle whatever's going on in your mind about feeling like you've been turned your back on. The black community, you turned your back on them when you started following these damn progressives instead of following people into prosperity. So you made your choice. You're in your bed. You let this shit fester. Now you sleep in it. Now, the second thing I would say, let me say about when everything was going on with Target. I was like, I'm not going to even get into it, because what it is, every election cycle, the Democrats, the progressives throw something out there for conservatives to start chomping over, and it distracts us from staying on target about talking about economic issues. So it is a distraction, and they do it every 4 years. They throw some meat out. The Republicans jump on it, and then you are distracted from keeping your original message on point. So I was like, I'm not going to even jump into this, because all this is a distraction. Now the difference is, well, actually my answer at that time was an armed society is a polite society. So I really don't care. Keep yourself armed. An armed society is a polite society. And with that being said, don't be so busy looking at the man in the dress that you forget the white boy that's walking into the church, or the black boy that's headed for the playground, or the Islamic savage that's going to a government facility that's barely guarded. Don't be so transfixed on looking at the transgendered that you forget that there are other fucking risks that exist out in this world. So the basic armed society is a polite society fits a whole bunch of subjects.
Hey, carry your gun in the bathroom. That's how I see it, too.
No, I'm saying look at all the threats.
Oh, but Sonnie, you overlooked the threats. I said that, okay, well, like, aren't there stalls in the women's restrooms? It was they said that, I think, on Neil Cavuto. Like, there's we go in the bathroom and we close the door behind each other, so we don't know what's going on. And then the response was, well, the stalls don't reach the floor. Someone could stick their penis underneath the wall. This is where that argument. We've approached a level of crazy with this.
You get what I'm saying? Is the point of that part being like the waste of time in the hypotheticals? Like, that's it. Arm yourself. And if you want to send your daughter in and she can't have a gun yet, get her a taser. Get her something small. You can work these things out into defensive positions. But don't scare your kids into believing that everything is around the corner, but just warn them to be vigilant of all things. And that we are the militia, and we have to be the militia. And that's not just against government. It's in protection of the American people. So remember that part of it. Now that Obama has put it in the schools, instead of arguing with these people, let's say, okay, we'll give you this if you give us school choice. And matter of fact, we'll go a step further. In every city, you can have the I don't know or care what gender I am charter school. Imagine what you would do. Imagine what you would do for the transgender community, the LGBT community, if you can have the kids all go to a school where they're all dealing with the same issues. You can put the charter school in the middle, serve the kids the best possible way you can, while at the same time respecting other people's rights to do it a different fucking way. Problem fucking solved. Get charter schools, you end this. And on top of that, it also takes away the president's power to issue edicts.
The shut up and eat it?
The edict. Did I not say that right, or I didn't enunciate?
No, I like that. The shut up and eat it policies. Okay.
Okay, well, I'll take that too. All right, fine. But I'm just saying, that's the one way you can solve majority of this. Just get charter schools, send the kids to the schools. They'll be specialized to help them with the things that they are going through. What is wrong with that? So you can have, I don't know what sex I am, charter school. You can have the Black Lives Matter, I'm black and I'm proud charter school. You can have the KKK. You can have the KKK, I'm too white for the rest of America charter schools. And every kid can get focused on the way that their community thinks that they should be focused on. Charter schools. Boom.
With the flame retarded windows and doors so it can't burn down.
Hey, if you can give Black Lives Matter, they want to complain that the school system isn't fair to the little kids. So if you're going to give Black Lives Matter, but here's the rub. Here's the rub in all of this, and why I think none of it will work. Because you have to compete with the people that don't care about other people's skin color. You have to compete with the people that don't care about other people's gender. You have to compete with the people who only care about succeeding. How are your kids going to rank against the kids that were focusing on math and science while you were trying to convince them that of other things that are in the realm of life is not really going to help them any? So just keep that in mind while you push for it, because you want to teach the black kids black power. They still going to have to compete with the white kids in the real world. So make sure if you're going to take that on, make sure you build them schools up to standard. Okay, you can go to the next one. I know I ran it on that one.
Moving on. Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders have been going around the country in a debate with each other over what the national minimum wage should be. Bernie says $15 an hour and Hillary says $12. With a potential of rising. Meanwhile, Wendy's is letting us know what a $15 an hour minimum wage is going to look like. Starting this year, Wendy's CFO says they'll begin incorporating self-serve machines immediately, directly blaming increased minimum wages. I mean, they're not even keeping that a secret. They're letting you know that this is the reason why we're going to put people out of jobs. If you'd remember, a couple years ago, a meme of McDonald's self-checkout machines were circulating. Apparently, the Bernie Sanders fans didn't quite get that memo then. Sonnie, do you think that the Bernie cult is going to wake up, or are they waiting for all the bank tellers and cashiers and customer service people to go out of work first?
They're having fun with it. Like, you're going to be able to get paid more to protest than to actually have the ability to find a job. Like, this is seriously where we're going, where you actually have a generation of kids that think that they are being productive citizens by protest. And they are losing the opportunities to actually be productive citizens. Having said all of that, hell yeah. And I hope the machine get my fucking order right. Because I'm tired of having to pull through the drive-thru and come back in and tell you this is not what the fuck I ordered. So maybe if I push it into the machine my motherfucking self, I won't have to worry about it.
The machine can't roll its neck either. That's the part I like.
Exactly. At least if you're going to have a minimum wage job, be respectful of this shit. And when you're not, you have customers like me that don't really feel sorry or pity because every time I come through your fucking line, you're being a bitch. So I don't really care if you lose your job. Now, there are some of them that are so peppy and perky and happy. I bet you those are the ones that are going to stay because no matter how much machinery you have in there, you have to have some kind of human, interface inside of it. And those are the ones that are happy, the ones that are joyful to have their job. Those are the ones that are going to still be employed.
And they're the ones who are going to progress, the ones who are taking that position and treating it as it is, a stepping stone, one you're not supposed to stay in forever.
You're not supposed to stay there. You're not. Look, I told my daughter this when, I went home one year and we went through Burger King line at the line at Burger King, and we gave our order. We pull around to the window, and the girl comes to the window, and I look up, and like my jaw drops because this was like the most popular girl in school when I was in school. And she turned and she looks at me and she's like, "I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you. Did you want to upgrade your fries?" And like it took it. I don't know what it was. It crushed me to see the most popular girl in my school now asking me for an upgrade on do I want to upgrade with my French fries?
I know the feeling.
You know what I'm saying? So I put that out there with my daughter. Even if you fall to your lowest and you have to get back up, it's not a place where you would stay. And for those of them that they have marching that believe that it's a place to stay. And that's the problem where you keep saying we want jobs, we want jobs. No, we want careers. We want career-minded people. We want people that go into industries that matter. Exactly. Low standards and no expectations.
It's a race to the bottom. That's what I describe how Democrats treat the economy.
Exactly.
The race to recruit people to be at the bottom of the barrel and to keep them there. I'm always thinking of progressing, and I'm going to do it no matter what, even if I risk sleeping in and blowing up in my apartment because I'm working late.
Hey, and I had to tell my cousin this when she questioned me about being a conservative. I told her, I said, let me tell you the dirty little secret. You think that the dirty little secret is that Republicans don't want you. That's not the dirty little secret. Now, it's not, I don't think it's necessarily true in some instances. In some of them, you are absolutely right. But that's not the dirty little secret. The dirty little secret is they can't stop you.
You are absolutely right. They cannot stop you. You don't have to accept me, but I know what policies I want and that is going to help me. And you are not going to stop me from obtaining said policies. Okay, as long as we're not lining up demographics and shooting them, I'm fine. You don't have to accept being black or whatever else.
Whatever else. So it is what it is. Let's move. That's like, don't they like stories like this just depress you? I don't know why. It just it takes my soul away.
Hey, I love capitalism, so I'm all for it. Hey, understand what's happening in the future. If you see what you're doing is getting ready to be phased out, hey, time to start working on plan B and to move on.
I'm just sad that there's actually people who protest for jobs flipping burgers. That saddens me. So I don't know. Go ahead, next one. That just makes me sad. It makes me, oh God, it makes me sad.
Hey, you get what you deserve, and those positions that you're fighting for are going to be gone. Now, we all remember how contentious the Trayvon Martin case was. Most of us let out a sigh of relief once it was over. Well, Zimmerman's at it again. Not once, but twice this week, he's tried to sell the gun he shot and killed Trayvon Martin with, claiming it was a part of American history. The proceeds, he says, will be going to keeping Hillary out of the White House. Now, I came across the story, Sonnie, at 4 o'clock in the morning, looking at your Twitter, when all you said was, I hate George Zimmerman. And I immediately knew at that point something was up. We get that it was self-defense. We get that you were attacked. But normally, when a person kills another human being, they feel some sort of remorse. At least you should anyway, or at least for a minor. Say what you want. But to go and insert yourself in the media again, positioning yourself as some sort of an American hero is just wrong. I have not seen, since this story broke, a single person in support of it. Tell us how you really felt when this story first broke, Sonnie.
I'm sitting here, right, like contemplating, what should I say right now? Like, should I go full? No, okay, let me put it this way. It might have been self-defense, but George Zimmerman is a bitch-ass nigga. All right? You don't run up and start a fight and then get your ass kicked so you decide to pull out a gun. Like, that is the reason that a lot of the shit that goes on in the black community goes on, and it's fucking senseless. It's fucking senseless. Okay, you went looking for a fight, you found it, and he kicked your ass. So for that, he deserves to die. So it may have been self-defense in the terms that he was kicking your fucking ass, but you take the ass whipping. Both of you live to see the next fucking day. Like, that's how it used to be. Now you have bitch ass niggas who resort to pulling out a gun and killing somebody because you got your ass kicked. Black eyes heal. Busted lips heal. That shit heals. Trayvon Martin will never fucking heal, you bitch ass bastard. And I was very happy that the auction sites refused to sell his gun. And I was very happy that when he did find one, they ran the bid up with fake ass bids so he wouldn't get shit. And I hope nothing but bad. Matter of fact, I hope he goes and cleans the damn gun and it mysteriously goes off, and I'm not going to tell you where I want the bullet to land.
All right. I have followed this case for years and have heard so much commentary. And damn it, if that was not the best I have heard about this story, man, I need to make this into like YouTube clips, Twitter clips. I know I'm old school. That was 2007, but yeah.
You get your ass kicked, okay? You get your ass kicked, especially if you go looking for a fight. Especially if you go looking for a fight. You become a man when you get your ass kicked, or in the sense of a girl. I'm not talking I'm just talking about in general of growing the fuck up. You grow the fuck up when you get punched in your fucking face and you get up and you realize the shit heals. It heals. That's when you grow the fuck up. One day, George Zimmerman needs to grow the fuck up.
But no, Sonnie, they found on his Facebook page that he asked how to make lean. So therefore, he was only going to grow up and be trouble. To kill the bastard while he's young.
Hey, like I said, hate is a strong word, and I hate George Zimmerman.
I'm just saying that was what the logic was. He was making lean. And you know what happens when people make lean, He might turn into the next Lil Wayne, and be worth a couple $100 million.
One day, I tell y'all what I used to do when I was Trayvon Martin's age.
So you're just going to hold me hostage to keep coming on here every week in hopes that I get to be a part of that discussion? I'll buy it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a hate is a strong word. I hate that man. Next door, this is bad Juby news.
I know, this is I'm smiling. That was epic. That is the best description I've heard of that. All right. I would like to offer up a job well done to a Pike County, Alabama homeowner who is my latest example of the Second Amendment used correctly. When 3 young men in their early 20s came in his house unannounced, he wrestled the gun out of the armed one's hand and shot and killed him. It might not have been his gun, but the man knew what he was doing, and he wasn't afraid of defending himself. Sonnie, 3 young men break into your home. What do?
I point to my no gun zone sign.
Okay.
Gun free zone. I point to the sign to make them aware that, and then I have a no violence sign right beside it. And then I have a no breaking and entering sign beside it, and then it's a please don't rape me sign beside it. And as they look at all the signs, I empty my clip into their ass.
Pow, pow.
How does that work? I mean, come on, man. This is what it's for. But I'll say this. I'll try to do this in a grown-up way, strongly advocating for the Second Amendment. It is not only your right to protect yourself, your person, your family, your property. It is not only your right to do that. It is also your responsibility. Like I said before, police do not stop crimes. They solve crimes after they've been committed. So you can either protect yourself or have people come into your funeral while they figure out who broke in.
I had a very spirited debate with a liberal who's going to be running for office soon, who told me that it's the police's responsibility to protect you. Or I said it's not. And he said it is. That's what they're there for. If someone is standing in front of you with a gun, what do you say? Hey, hold on. Let me go find my phone and dial 911 so that they can mitigate this issue. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. I don't understand thinking otherwise because, they say that a gun is violent. Having a gun equals violence. We shouldn't be having all these people getting guns to protect themselves. That's what you pay tax dollars for. That's what the police are for if something happens.
Hey, and then those be the exact same people telling you the police are corrupt.
They talk out of both sides of their mouth. Liberals say the police are awful. They're terrible to black people. But if something happens, no, don't get a gun. You're supposed to call that person, call the asshole who is more likely to shoot you when they arrive than the actual criminal.
That's what I ask. I ask the question all the time. I'm like, so you hate the police? Yeah, I hate the police. Always trying to get a nigga face. So you want gun laws? Well, it's too many niggas down here dying. I said, so what do you think the world is going to look like where only the police have guns?
Who are they going to shoot first? If they are as racist, etc., as you claim that they are.
Man, you better stop preaching on my show. You think it's bad for you now?
Because I'm sick of this argument with these people. These people run for office and you have these discussions with me. You believe in conservatism, but you can't say it out loud. That's the other half.
It's the same thing with the Constitution. It is the exact same thing with the Constitution. If you think it's bad for you now, what do you think it'll be like if you don't even have the basic right of freedom of speech? Like all of the things that you use to complain about how bad it is, what happens when you destroy the Constitution and you no longer have those protections? See, you think it's all fun and cute when you're taking it away from somebody else. Never realizing the day you will realize you took it away from your damn self. So I give cheers to the man that defended himself and his family. You are indeed a man. You are indeed a gentleman and a scholar.
And I just have to say before we go that my other favorite Second Amendment hero is the Detroit pastor, where a man broke into the church and tried to rob them in the middle of service, and the pastor pulled out his gun and shot and killed him in front of the entire congregation. That is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Make America great again.
Woohoo!
Make the black community great again.
Hey, do you see the NRA ad with the older black lady that was talking about how they wanted to throw her out of her public housing because she wanted to have a gun? That's like one of the best NRA ads. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I encourage everybody to check out that new series of NRA ads is freaking fabulous. So I suggest everybody check those out.
Kelly Ripa, the morning talk show host, whose co-host Michael Strahan left almost without any notice, has expressed interest in writing a book about the experience of Mr. Strahan leaving the show. A source close to Ripa says that she's only thinking of herself and no longer considering the network in her decision-making. Look, this is a woman who makes millions of dollars a year on daytime television, so you have a production or backstage disagreement. Someone's not coming back. Boo-hoo. I don't think that warrants you deciding that I'm not going to come to work. You say that you can't, if I showed up, I didn't know what I was going to do. Have some self-control. Put your big girl panties on. No one cares. And to continue, and you want to write a book about it and say that this is workplace unfairness, well, most people don't get to have millions of dollars to compensate unfairness that they have to experience in the workplace. Sonnie, if I didn't show up to work. Say today, say I could have blown up. Would you have just not shown up and recorded the show for the, next 2-3 weeks because you were just so distraught and outraged that JaVonni didn't show up and proceeded to write a book about it? Please say yes.
Now, look, this is one thing that really pisses me off about conservatives. And I have learned this from kind of being in this game for a while. It is one of those things that really pisses me off about conservatives. We are competitive people. We like to compete. We like to be the best. We like to win. But in the aspect of what we're doing, that makes us hate on other people. That makes us not be happy for other people's success, even though we're successful in our own right. So you have like these conservative hosts who are successful in their own right, but they can't be happy for your success because it somehow threatens them. And it is disgusting within the conservative movement. It is utterly disgusting. And everybody who's been in the movement long enough will have their own stories of people from different angles that do this. And I think I think that it is a bad human trait when you cannot be happy for somebody else's success. Even if it hurts you a little bit or it takes a little bit away from you. If you have the belief in yourself, then you will say, I'll recompensate. I'll get somebody bigger and better. I'll show him. I'll compete. And when you can't muster the joy to say, congratulations, now me and you are competition, that says more about you than it does about the person that does something bigger, brighter, and greater. And like I said, you find it rampant in the black community, but you find it definitely within the conservative movement. And I just find it disgusting.
I completely agree.
And that's me being serious because, like, as I'm saying, I'm like seeing names flash in my fucking head.
Feel free to share them.
Come on. Then this show will become about them. This is the Sonnie Johnson show. My fucking name gets mentioned on this show.
I can't help myself. Yes, Sonnie Johnson.
Now, you ain't gotta have me on your show. I got my own. All right, last story. Let's wrap it up.
Justin Bieber, the pop singer who makes, $60 to $100 million a year, who has millions of screaming fans. He just announced that he's no longer going to be taking any pictures with anyone. He said in a statement, I realize people will be disappointed, but I don't owe anyone a picture. And people will say, but I bought your album. He says, know that you got my album and you got what you paid for. An album. It doesn't say in fine print, whenever you see me, you also get a photo. Now, look, if Justin tomorrow were to lose all of his fans, and he would probably go outside and be begging people, paying them to take a picture with him. It doesn't work that way. These are the people who built you. These are the ones who made you who we are. We all have to do things that we don't like. That's life, including myself. I have to work until ridiculous hours. I risk explosion, but I am here.
When I started, and I'm going to admit some shit, when I started, that shit was awkward. Like, that is some awkward shit when people like stand in a line and they form in a line and they're like, oh, we just want to get our pictures taken with you. It is some awkward shit. And I'll give you advice, Justin Bieber fans. If you want him to be more palatable towards giving pictures, cut out the long fucking conversations. Say, I'm a fan. Can I get the picture? Get the picture and keep it fucking moving. When you want to sit there and take 30 minutes of his fucking time, imagine you're just one of millions. And yes, I understand it is your day, but your time, you see him, it's once in a lifetime. I get all of that shit. But when you're in that position, it can get awkward, the questions that people ask you, the shit that they want to know, the conversations that they want to have. It can get kind of awkward. And like, I have just gotten to the point where I know how to deal with it. Like, to say, I have other people waiting, so I can't I'm sorry, I can't keep up with this. You can like hit me on Twitter or Facebook or something, like to keep it moving, because I go to events and I have to like stand there for an hour and a half, just talking to people, taking pictures and, you know, doing the thing. And I don't like to call them fans. I hate that. You know, it's like, don't think it's easy for the people that you love while you're looking at it just from your perspective. And I respect your perspective and I understand your perspective. I've gotten assimilated to it and understanding it. But dear God, realize that other people on the other side are human too. Like with me, I have Crohn's. So if I'm like, okay, this is like, I'm at the point where I have to go. I don't want to be rude to you. I'm not trying to be nasty to you, but I have to go. As a personal me affair, I have to go. Then you're like, I'm not good, or I don't appreciate my fans, or this, that, or the other. No, that's not the case. You still have to look at Justin Bieber as being a human being and realizing this shit carries weight. And so maybe he shouldn't come out and say the shit on social media. If that's the way he felt, then he should have kept it on the low, checked people when necessary. It was no need to put it all on social media. But since he did, he'll feel the repercussions from his fans who think that shit ain't right. But like I said, coming up through the process, I have a tiny bit of understanding of what Justin Bieber faces. And just realize that, yeah, you love them. Yeah, they're famous. Yeah, you know, all of that stuff is true, but they're still human. So maybe he just really needs to piss. Or maybe he's really hungry. Or maybe that girl then pissed him off. Like maybe it is something going on in his life that he has to deal with.
Or he has someone's house to egg, you know.
Well, even if that's the case, just give a little bit of leeway to remembering that he is a human being. Okay, so that was Did She Say That? JaVonni's going to stay with us.
Woohoo!
We're going to have our capitalism segment, so that's going to be fun. Be back in a few moments. Pricing information is great and necessary, but there's more to car buying than just price. There's the actual buying experience. And to enjoy a better one, you have to go to a True Car certified dealer. They are there to help you find the car you want, and they are what make True Car unique. With True Car, you can connect with a local certified dealer of your choosing so you can lock in guaranteed savings off MSRP and enjoy a better buying experience. True Car customers are more likely to enjoy a faster buying process when they connect with True Car certified dealers. Over 2 million cars have been sold to True Car users by the True Car certified dealer network, and there are over 11,000 True Car certified dealers nationwide. You will work directly with a True Car certified dealer contact, and True Car users save an average of $3,279 off MSRP. And using the True Car website or the True Car app, you can easily find the car that you want. So when you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit TrueCar.com or download the True Car app to enjoy a better car buying experience. Some features are not available in all states.
Did she say that? You bet she did. Once again, it's Sonnie Johnson.
Welcome back to Did She Say That, a Breitbart Podcast on Podcast One. I am your host, Sonnie Johnson, and of course, JaVonni is back with me. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, then. Let's jump in, because you know I love to talk about capitalism, so today, why would this podcast be any different? I wrote an article back in January 10th, actually. January 10th, 2010, called Black Billionaires and Multimillionaires Under Bush. Hip-hop and capitalism. Let me say that date again. This was January 10th, 2010. That was pre-Trump. That was pre-your candidate of choice. So please understand when I say nothing about this election cycle challenges my principles. It only meets up with my intellect. Now, JaVonni.
Yes.
I started this article with a question, and I want to ask that question to you now. Why do hip-hop artists only talk about liberal policies when they talk about how broke they were, never referring to how rich they are?
Because John Miller. That's why. John Miller, racism, white privilege, all those great things.
Did you really just say John?
That's what I could think of. Hey, capitalism is reserved for a 50-year-old orange real estate developer that graduated from the Wharton School of Business with throngs of women throwing themselves at him. It's that simple, Sonnie. I don't know why you ask these rhetorical questions.
But I don't think that that's the case, because I watched hip hop, and like if you watch through that period of 2000 through 2008, the Bush era, and please don't comment on what was happening overseas and all of that. I'm looking strictly at the focus of what was happening in hip hop during that time. Everybody had a record label, their own record label. Everybody had their own clothing line. They had their own perfume line.
I think Mariah Carey bought her own island, around that time period, yes.
Because the money was flowing. We were having the ability to take money and to invest it into ourselves. That was also the time where Bob Johnson decided to sell BET, which is now owned by the white man. I thought I would throw that in there. But capitalism is a bitch because he made like $1.3 billion off the deal. So all of this wraps up to show you that you have these people that tell you to be Democrats, to vote for this fucking idea of poverty, when everything about their life, everything about their circumstance is based around capitalism.
But look at the imagery that we tend to use in music videos, the imagery that's showing what a successful corporate America person is. It's usually, like a rapper outside trying to get in the industry, and the person inside of the office is like a white person in a button-up suit.
But Jay changed that. Jay changed that. Jay was the one in the suit in the office.
Yeah, he became the one in the suit. But I'm saying the imagery is that's the way that they see it. And so it's the person in that suit who forever has their foot in their neck. And that's the storyline that constantly gets pushed down to the masses.
That's sick. Look, everything... We learned specific lessons the hard knock way. Like we took our bumps, we took our falls, and we learned shit the hard way. Mostly because we were too hard-headed to listen to the good advice that, people older than us were telling us. We learned shit the hard way. But we have examples of people who have done it prosperity and have done it right. We have examples of people who come from our circumstance. So we're not looking at the people who were born with the silver spoons. We're looking at the people who were born in the hood, who are self-made, who picked themselves up, even if they started their careers selling drugs, realized what they realized was that shit wasn't cool. That wasn't going to get them a fiscal financial future. So they said, fuck it, and went to something more lucrative, something where the government couldn't take their money. And then they got to that branch of capitalism where they started to learn about their rights, their intellectual property rights. And now they're like, please don't download my shit black market. Yes, that's capitalism too. That's the dark side. But what is the hip hop song that promotes welfare as a means to wealth?
I must have missed that era of hip hop.
I asked this question back in 2010, and I've asked it all across the country when I give speeches and when I go to Breitbart meetups, which if a meetup comes to your town, you should be really, you should go. I advocate you going. But none of hip hop promotes welfare to wealth. They all prepare welfare to riches. That means I was on welfare, then something in my mentality changed, and I went towards wealth. Not that I stayed on welfare and it made me wealthy. Like, what is the disconnect there?
I've never heard anyone, like when Diddy did his Howard commencement speech, I am pretty sure that he did not say that it was his wife's wick that was the secret to them getting their first $1 million. Pretty sure that wasn't a part of it.
Like, you watch it, none of them want to acknowledge the work that it takes. None of them want to say that And this is what I hate about the black icons that push this progressive ideology. And let me tell you who I hate talking about people that I've never met personally. And like, I haven't met this dude personally, so it hurts me to like bring his name up. But one of the people that pisses me off is Torre. I wish I would have met him in person to say that I met him in person before I gave this tirade, but that wasn't the case, so I'm getting ready to tirade on regardless. You have this biracial dude, okay? I ain't got no problem with it, but let's be real. And he has the ability to go on any news network he wants to, any blog site he wants to, any Huffington Post, therude.com, all of it, Twitter, Facebook, he's all on there. He writes books about Prince, and you know his book sales went up when Prince died. All of this is capitalism. All of it is capitalism. But he will tell a black person about white privilege. And like, that pisses me off. Stop talking about white people for like 5 freaking seconds and talk about capitalism.
But Sonnie, I have to say this. This is what you get for taking your political advice from a former Rolling Stone writer. That's what that is. And Rolling Stone was a magazine that put a terrorist on the front cover in a beauty shot. So, yeah, that explains that.
When I brought up on Twitter the fact that Torre used to have a show on BET, like nobody fucking remembered. And I'm like, really? Like, I remembered because I fucking used to watch. It wasn't about white privilege. It was about black empowerment. Now you're on some white privilege shit. It's like a shame to see these people just shrink. They just shrink. Why they make money off of it? It's ridiculous.
Mark Lamont Hill tends to do the exact same thing. He had his show, or has, I don't know, on TV One, I believe it is, where he highlights black businesses and its capitalism every single week. And these are good stories. And I hated him because he's very middle of the road. Like, he didn't want to step on anyone's toes. Well, I'm saying, well, for that show, he's tried to play it cool. And it's capitalism promoting these businesses. But when he gets on MSNBC, he loses it.